Hi everyone, it's Gail Scott here again, and I am here to bring you some more messages of hope from the guides that I work with. And what's really exciting about this particular message that's come through is that this is from a collective of councils. So normally when I channel one group, a particular council or a collective or just a group of beings, but this time I've actually managed to tap into what I'm calling the multiverse. So basically it is a group of councils that have come forward with a message for you, humanity, through me. And so I am going to refer a little bit more to my notes in this particular video, just so that I can get their message right for you today. So they started off by asking the question, is life simple or is it complicated? And they want you to consider that idea, because the choice of whether your life is simple or complicated is really up to you. So they said, you may decide that you want a life that has all the bells and whistles with all the modern technology, the conveniences, high priced items, lots of materialistic wealth. And that is the way that you want to live your life right now. And that's totally fine. There was a time, though, when we did not live that way, where our lives were fairly simple. And this was really because we did not have access to this kind of abundance that we have now, or the choice of things that we have available to us now. So those were very simple and modest lives, but we would say that over the last century, that has really transformed with all of the technology and all of the advancements that we've been able to bring through as a species to be able to assist us in living on planet Earth. So what they're saying is that in the last century, our life has for the most part has manifested itself into a greater heightened awareness of realizing that we actually have the ability to amass more and more things. But that comes with the caveat that just as we can amass more joy, we can also amass more problems. And so why are they bringing this message to you today? They want you to know that it is possible to be happier with less or with more simplicity. And what they mean when they say that is it's not that your income or your material wealth goes down. It's not that at all. What it means is that your level of consciousness goes up. And with that level of consciousness, what you begin to realize is that most of those other things drop away in their level of importance. And so they're reminding us that this situation, this pandemic that we're going through, where our lives have dramatically changed. In a sense, they've become infinitely more simple because we've had to restructure our time, our availability to be able to go and do all the things that we were doing before. And that even though it may seem like there's less time, we actually have more time now. And what they mean by this is that before we were super busy, and we didn't think that we had enough time, and now we have more time, and yet I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed, but it seems like time is just slipping through our fingers. And so they're asking for you to really begin to appreciate the delicate nature of the time that you have on the planet, because what was important before has now shifted because of this situation that we've gone through. And we as a species, as a collective, as a community, as a group of people living on this planet, we're now beginning to realize what's really important for us to enjoy living on the planet. And what's it going to look like in the future? Well, they're telling me that there will come a time on the planet when this will all be history. We will look back at it either as an individual or as a generation, and we'll see that everything that we've gone through, all of this transition and change, was absolutely necessary. It was necessary to happen. And that we are all moving through this transitionary period where we're realizing that those lifestyles of being super busy and having all this material wealth and everything, although it was important and it was pleasant and is for the way that we're living right now, it's not actually the nature of who we are as human beings, because the nature of our being is actually far more evolved when it focuses on joy and the simple pleasures of each other and enjoying the planet. And these are some of the things that we've begun to really take notice of in the way that we're living now during this lockdown, that we're realizing that not being able to be with each other and being able to get out and enjoy the planet is actually very, very important for us, as well as our social situation. So they're saying it's not that the future will not have technology, for it shall have even more than what we're currently experiencing, but that our attitudes about life are going to change, and that we will realize even more than we do now the importance of human interaction. We'll realize how much we value the homes that we live in and the creature comforts that we have. And we'll also begin to really value nature and our planet and the value of each other and being able to be together on this planet and enjoy it. And so that the pandemic situation has been an opportunity for us as a species from a global perspective to really become aware of the simplicity of life and how we as humans tend to complicate it and make it much more complicated than it really has to be, because it's in the simplicity that we really discover the nature of our being, because we are social creatures and we do enjoy the company of one another. And that busy material wealth place and focus that we have had for so long has actually for a time given the mental health state of our population a lot less attention than it's needed. And so now this is really beginning to show up, where that kind of focus and that kind of way of life is really not to our benefit. It is not, it's not in our best interest, they would say. So they're describing to me that as we transition through this evolutionary process, that three worlds will be created. And those three worlds, as we move out of this pandemic situation, will be an elevation of our consciousness, creating three worlds, not three physical worlds. It's not that we'll have three different planet Earths. We'll all still be here on the same planet Earth, but from an energetic perspective, from a feeling sense or an emotional state, you'll begin to notice that there are three worlds that people are living in. So the first world is the one that we're coming out of, this original complicated world where individuals have not been aware of the choices that they have, that their actions, in a sense, their sense of being is related to their attitude, their beliefs, and their behaviors, and that there's been a real lack of self-awareness around that. In fact, they say that has been hidden from our view, and that's really what it means to live in the third dimension, which is the one world, this world that we're currently in right now. And then they've said that in our future, there is, in a sense, a world where individuals will be able to operate at a much higher level of consciousness. There'll be, and there are some people who are currently living in this place at this time, where basically they're very aware of their impact on the environment, on other individuals, on their work situation, on their family. And they really live from a place of valuing cohesion, collaboration, co-creation, and that this kind of way of living is a heart-centered, loving place to exist in. And these individuals who live from this place, they are very aware that their behavior has a distinct impact on and impact and long-standing effect on others and themselves. And they don't necessarily believe everything that they think they believe. They question things. And in the questioning, they evolve. And then as they evolve, they have a greater sense of self. And from that place, they're able to contribute more to others and to themselves and to the planet. And this world is known as the fifth dimension, and it's a heart-centered place of love. And then the other world that will materialize is for a group of individuals of you who will struggle between both of these worlds. And as you struggle between this complicated world of not knowing yourself and this simpler world where you do know yourself, you will struggle. You will struggle between these two worlds, because there'll be moments where you have no recognition of yourself. You don't know what you're doing. You'll just be in the motions of living in your in your paradigm, in your patterning, in your programming, in what you think you know to be right. And that's a place where you just don't have any self-awareness of who you are and how it's impacting others, and that difficulties are going to come up as a result of living in that place and transitioning into these different worlds. And so you're going to have to work through some stuff. You're going to have to work through some triggers, some traumas, some situations where you realize now that it can't be the way that it was, but you don't know yet how it can be. You haven't really accessed that. And so you're moving out of this complicated place and into a simpler place, because in that simpler place, you really do know what matters. You know what matters to you, you know what matters to others, and you realize that love is really what matters, and that there really is nothing to fear when you are in that heart-centered place. And so living in that complicated 3D environment is really coming from fear. It's coming from scarcity, from lack, from the ego, and from a real deep sense of not knowing what really matters. And it's not that it's good or bad. It's just that it is, and that it's been our state for a really, really long time. And now we are moving out of that dimension, out of that third dimension, and into this fifth dimension. And this transitory state they are calling the fourth dimension. It's not a separate way of being completely, because it's a transitory state. You will move in and out of 3, 4, and 5 when you can access it. And some people will move faster than others. And some of you are going to struggle, and some of you are going to need help with this. And so they are recommending that, you become aware, and that even for some of you, you actually may not move at all. You may stay very entrenched in the 3D environment and realize that that is where you want to live. You don't want to live any other way, and that's totally fine. It's totally perfect, because it's the nature of your soul to be in this place. It still has lessons to learn. It maybe hasn't served enough of its time in that area. And there's still things that you want to experience from the third dimensional perspective. And so for those of you who are entering into the fourth dimension, where it is going to be pretty challenging for you, they're suggesting that you really be gentle with yourself, because you really need to recognize that you're evolving, that you're changing, that you're letting go of things, that you're inviting in new things, you're embracing new things. And that for those of you who are already in aspects of the fifth dimension, where you really do have a sense of who you are and what's important, and you are heart-centered, they are asking you to please be gentle with your fellow humans, no matter where they are. So if you come up against someone who is in the third dimension, who doesn't understand your world, let them be who they are. Love them anyway. Love them fully. And the same if you meet someone who's in the fourth dimension and they are struggling to figure out who they are and what's going on and how to feel better about themselves and figure out what they value and what's important to them. Bring love, bring peace, bring a gentleness, a kindness, compassion in your way of being with them, because you've been there too, and you can understand how tough that is. So there's change coming. That is for absolute certainty. And it's not a simple thing that we're going through here. This is not a situation that we've gone through before. We're moving through it. And it's actually, they're telling me, a highly adventurous place. It's a forward thinking place to be moving into, and it will evolve us as a species on this new earth. And we are moving into what's called the new earth. And with the new earth, there will be many changes. We are going to be given more technologies that we have not had before, technologies that will allow us to live in this heart-centered place in a far more simple way. And it's not that we will be less conscious or less evolved when they say the word simple. It's actually the very opposite. They're saying that when we are in this simple place, we will be more highly evolved. And for some of you, you may already be in this place. But for many of you, you may not quite understand what this means. And that's fine. There are individuals in the planet, on this planet and in the galaxies, that are here to assist you. And all of the collectives whose messages I bring in, they bring in pragmatic solutions for us as humans to assist us with these difficulties that we're going through. And when we pay attention, we get centered in our heart, and we follow them, and we do what works for us, we do find that it is a lot more peaceful. So we are supported. You don't have to be concerned about how this transition is going to play out. They're here to support us as we evolve, and that we know that planet Earth is also evolving. She is leveling up. And in that, we're going to notice that we have more moments of joy. We're going to have more moments of delight. We're going to have more moments of authenticity, more moments of passion. And really, you can more fully step into this simple and yet even more evolved life. Now, for many of you listening to this video, or hearing this for the first time, you might have lots of questions, and that is totally normal. And so what they're suggesting is that you reach out and ask questions, get answers, contact people like me and other channelers, other guides on the planet who have access to this kind of information, because it's in the questions and answers that you will evolve your consciousness. So they are very much recommending that you do come forward, ask questions, try to get clarity, explore, and be adventurous in this place of moving forward, and begin to really recognize for you what you've learned through this difficult pandemic situation about what really matters to you, and return to those simple things that bring you joy and that have you feel grounded and have you feel happy on a daily basis. So I am thrilled to bring this message to you today. If you have enjoyed this video and you would like to learn more about what I do, please subscribe, for there will be a lot more information coming forward to help us as we go through this. If you would like to listen to the channeling or read the actual transcription, these are available on my website, boseinternational.com. Please follow me on social media. And until next time, stay grounded and really focus on what makes you feel good. Thank you for listening.